Shalom. First and foremost, I give all praise and glory to yahawashi Bishop Hakodash. Divine to the apostles, Jim Master Ruel. Shalom to the faithful man is always continually doing the work of the Lord. Now, Lord willing, me and the brother just watched that movie, The Last Conjuring. Um, you know, it was a great movie. I liked it. Um, and something that happened in it, I want to just bring it out real quick. Without revealing too much. But because well, their little daughter and shit, the couple that be doing, that be going into the houses and all that, their little daughter, she got pretty much the same gifts as the mother. You know what I'm saying? She can, see spirits, and she's sensitive to that, and that's something I noticed too, because I like, I watch a lot of like testimonies on seeing spirits and stuff like that, and you notice like women are the ones that get fucked with more. You know what I'm saying? They're not spiritual as far as the Lord is dealing with them more. That's funny, actually. If you really look at it, the Lord, he more deals with men, but with women, it seems like the demons, because we know what these spirits are. The spirits ain't dead people walking around that can't fucking cross or whatever. When you dead, you go back to the spirit world, right? Now, witches and shit can summon people's spirit, like example of Saul, the witch, she summoned the spirit of Samuel, but the spirits ain't gonna be lingering around and stuck in the fucking nah. But anyways, that these demons was fucking with a lot of these people, you know what I'm saying? You notice it be more mainly with women, alright? And so I kind of messed up my train of thought, but pretty much the Lord, the Most High, and His Son, the Holy Spirit, He deals mainly with the men. And you notice these evil spirits, they mainly mess with women. Why? Because I remember a brother, he brought that information out. I gotta go through it again. I think it's the word. I think it's the word Holy Spirit. When when Samson was the spirit jumped on him. I believe if you look at that word up, it says the Spirit of the Lord, pretty much masculine. You know what I'm saying? It's like I forgot it's a beautiful video, man. I might have to do one, because I can't remember what specific word it was, but it pretty much saying that the Spirit of the Lord is masculine and it's a manly, warlike spirit. All right, you see, so obviously that masculine, warlike spirit is going to be dealing with men. But the tabernacle is with men. To the voices of the Son of Men, I call. But like I said, these evil spirits, they mainly fuck with these women. Why? Because they're the weaker vessel. You know what I'm saying? The serpent went to Eve first, which that was a man. All right, but I believe you look at the word serpent, it goes into like an enchanter, like a witch, a warlock. Pretty much an enchantment. You know what I'm saying? All right, because these women, they, like I said, they're the weaker vessel, so they gonna fall victim to that more. You know what I'm saying? Even if you look at that movie, A Woman in the Front Yard or whatever, that was a good movie too. That was about spirits too. It was like an evil spirit that pretty much trying to jump on the mother. It was a mother and her two children. The evil spirit trying to jump on her to pretty much commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? And then the only one that was in the spirit really was the son. He was like, man, what the fuck? It was this woman just sitting in the yard, like, who the fuck is this? And you know what I mean? He's like, man, we about to do something. And she just the mom, she's all no, don't no, all acting all scared and shit. But anyways, going back to this movie, The Conjuring. All right, but the daughter pretty much had the same abilities as the mother, and so she can see spirits, whatever the case is. And this and the spirit is pretty much calling her to the house or whatever. And then and she thought she was sweet. You know what I mean? She pretty much went behind her parents' back and try to solve the spirit situation. And I was thinking in my head the whole time, bro. I'm like, cause me and the brother, times we watched it. You know what I'm saying? We like pretty much it's beautiful because now we have boldness, we have confidence in the Lord. If this situation happened to us, what we gonna do? We gonna call the name of the Lord. And a lot of the times I'm like, man, nigga, call the name of the Lord. You know, it took them a while to call the name of the Lord or Jeebus or whatever. You know, they running this shit. But anyways, the daughter, she thought she was sweet. She tried to figure out the situation on her own. You know what I'm saying? She asked for help too, but she tried to be in the midst of that shit. And I was thinking in my head like, bitch, you ain't in the spirit. Where you trying to go? Because the mother and the father was there, and the woman, she was going around trying to go each room, see what's up. You know what I mean? They both felt his presence upstairs, and then the daughter was like, "Oh, let me go with you." She was like, "Nah, you stay down here." And that's when I thought, like, yeah, bitch, you ain't in the spirit. How you gonna, you know what I mean? What are you gonna do? This whole movie, I ain't seen you call on the Lord at all. You ain't do shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, she ended up getting split up, and pretty much the evil spirit jumped on her. And, you know, it got off of her, and some bullshit happened. I ain't gonna give all of it up. But it was a good ass movie though. You know what I'm saying? It's just one scene I ain't fucking like. But yeah, man, the evil spirit jumped on her. Why? Because she wasn't in the spirit. She wasn't calling on the names at all. She wasn't even quoting scriptures, nothing. She was doing absolutely fucking nothing. She was saying these little bullshit nursery rhyme or some shit to take away the spirits or some stupid shit. You gotta see it and watch it. You gotta go with this and know what I'm talking about. But the point is, she wasn't in the spirit. And it reminded me of this scripture right here. Alright. This is Acts 19. And 13. Then certain of the vagabond Jews, alright, exorcists, exorcists took upon them themselves, alright, to call over them which had evil spirits, the name of the Lord yahawashi, saying, we adjure you by yahawashi whom Paul preacheth. And there were 7 sons of the one of Ziva, a Jew and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, yahawashi I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? And the man in whom the evil spirit, and the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of the house naked and wounded. All right, and this was known to all the Jews and Greeks, also during the Ephesus, Cyphus, and fear fell on all of them, and the name of the Lord Yahawashi was magnified. Alright, so that's the point. And that's what happened in that movie. She thought she was sweet. She thought she could do whatever the fuck she thought she was. She thought she was the hero. But the evil spirit jumped on her. Why? Because she really had no defense. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing today, man. That shit real, bro. You know, and you're going to have guys trying to do the same exact thing, trying to exercise the spirits, and, you know, the spirits is going to jump on them. Alright? Because this ain't no game, man. That's why you got to truly believe, man, because these evil spirits, all these spirits, they know who you are. Alright? And to prove that, let me get that real quick, because I will get that example with Yahawashi. I believe it should be Mark. Okay, Matthew. Um, Let me see. This is Matthew 8:28. And when he was come to the other side into the country of Gargisinus, okay, you see, there met him two possessed with devils, coming out of the tombs exceedingly fierce, so that no man might pass by that way. And behold, they cried out, saying, What have we to do with thee, yahawashi, thou son of the Most High? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time? And you see, so they understood who yahawashi was. All right, and you got to think about it. It's at a time where a lot of people, not talking about spirits now, but just people, a lot of people was didn't know who Yahawashi was. Some thought that he was just a prophet. Some thought that he was the Messiah. Some thought he was a false prophet. All right. So they didn't really know. You know, some thought that he was John the Baptist coming back, Elijah. You know, but Peter, through the Spirit, he understood. He said, "I know that you are the Son of the Most High. You are the Messiah." And what the Lord said, He said, the Spirit revealed this unto you. So we have spiritual powers too. We can understand who is who. You know, we can understand. Okay, this brother, he's sincere, or this person, he got wrong spirit. We got spiritual powers on a low key spirit, not as great. You know what I'm saying? But we still got spiritual powers. We can understand who is who. All right. But even just like these evil spirits, they can understand. They knew that Yahawashi was the ultimate angel, the Son of the Most High. Alright? So same thing with us. They understand. Oh, this right here, this is a man that believes. Alright? That's why certain spirits, man, it fucks with you. You know what I mean? Because you don't think that you're gonna be in the truth, and you ain't gonna start seeing spirits. And nah, spirits are gonna fuck with you even more. You know what I'm saying? I had times where my family and my brother-in-law and shit. I remember one time he was sleeping at our house, and I was going to school. I remember it was a school night, I believe. Yeah, it was. This is before I was in the truth. This is in my Christianity days. But we was both sleeping in the couch for some reason. I had my room was the first room in the hallway. If you go through the hallway, there's my room, my sister's room, and my mom's room. But my room was the first room. We was in the living room. And he woke me up like, hey man, I see a shadow at your door. You know what I'm saying? I told this story a few times. And then we did some ghost hunting shit, which of course the scripture says do not deal with familiar spirits, that's where people try to talk to dead people and shit. Try to, ghost hunt and shit. What you want, what you doing here? At that time I didn't know better. See, I was a Christian though. I should have known that. But thank God now I know through the Spirit. But we was walking around, we was voice recording, and he was asking the questions. And I remember as soon as we got up, because we replayed it back. As soon as we got up, we can hear a third voice, like somebody. It was like breathing. It was like making some type of noise. I don't remember. It was like when I was a teenager, like early teenager years, maybe like 13, 14. But I remember it was like making some type of noise, like some breathing type of noise or some shit. And then we was walking around the living room to the kitchen, and then we was just asking it like, well, he was my brother-in-law, my ex-brother-in-law. He was the one talking. He was like, "What you want? What's your name?" He was like, "What's your name?" And we played it back and didn't say nothing. Then he was like, "What you want?" And it sounded like, to this day, I don't really know for 100%, but it sounded like it said my middle name. Because my family, they call me by my middle name. And I don't care, I'm going to say it. They Sean, you know what I'm saying? It sounded like it said that. I believe it said that. Because now I'm thinking about it, because that very house, that's when I came into the truth. So it had to been like, matter of fact, yeah, it had to been like 14. You know what I'm saying? Because not too long after that, like maybe a year later, that's when I found, or the Lord brought me into the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I wholeheartedly, now, like I said, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I believe that it did say my name, because it really sounded like that. You know what I'm saying? It literally sounded like it's, because it was kind of like muffled, not muffled, but whatever. It was like distorted or whatever the fuck. You couldn't really clearly hear the nigga, but you can clearly hear it as another voice. And I'm right next to my brother-in-law. I know he didn't do nothing. I'm right beside this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And then the house before that, when I was 12, 13, the house before that, I remember my god brother, he was sleeping over living room again. And again, I had a room. My room was the first room. Like, you go up the stairs. This time we had stairs in this house. You go up the stairs. It was the first room in that house. You know what I'm saying? Then you got my sisters. Then you got my mom. With my sisters, they seen a spirit. She woke up and seen a spirit just staring at her and shit. You know what I'm saying? But that house was creepy as fuck. But I never seen nothing in that house or heard nothing or nothing. But I remember my god brother. He was sleeping. We was in the living room at that time, and then he I think he either woke me up or he told me the day after or something. I don't remember, but I remember he told me, he was like, "Man, I seen like a shadow thing standing over you." Yeah, so it was after, because I remember I was like, "Damn, nigga, you ain't wake me up. Like, what the fuck?" Yeah, he said, "I seen a shadow thing standing over you." You know what I'm saying? So these spirits, they know who you are, bro. And they probably knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, he about to come into the truth. You know what I'm saying? So the moral of the story, the conclusion of the matter is, man, we got to make sure that we in the spirit, man, because we going to get tried and tested, man. We already been through trials and tribulations. Me and brother was talking about that. We went through our little, but it's going to get even harder. Even more demons going to fuck with us, man. It might be times where we got to be exercise a demon, or a spirit might appear to you. You know what I mean? You might have to rebuke it and get it out. That's why you got to study that Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Obviously know the names, but rebuke Satan in the Hebrew, and you know what I'm saying? And really ultimately just trust in the Lord. Really trust the Lord, man. Because like the Apostle Tahar said, man, you're gonna be scared at first, but eventually you're gonna get mad, bro. And get in, and that's what I was thinking, like, throughout the movie, like, you know what I'm saying? I know I ain't no bitch, man. Through the spirit, probably I push me out shot. I'm not being proud. I know through the spirit, I'm gonna trust the Lord. That's all I can do. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish to see spirits, and I don't, hell no. Don't do that. Because if you wish to, I want to see something. Yeah, the Lord. Hey, that's something I know about the Lord. The Lord will give you what you want, man, good or bad. And you know what I mean. You don't want to be open up into that world, because you open up to that world too much, man. That shit can bug you the fuck out. But when the times that it did happen, hey, through the spirit, I call upon the name of the Lord, and you know, I remember one more. I remember one of my old houses years ago. This is like early 20s. I'm still in my early 20s, but I remember it was like one of them sleep. What's that shit called? I forgot what that shit called. When you sleep and you see shit. But it was like in my dream and shit. Which I believe you can see spirits in your dream too, man. And that's the spirit too, 'cause my mom even told me that shit. I remember that. She was like, if you have a dream about like a demon, then it pretty much is there. You know what I'm saying? I believe that too. You know what I'm saying? But I remember I had a dream at this one house. The the way I was actually sleeping, I had two dreams in that motherfucking same spot in the same position, everything. I was sleeping. The way I was really sleeping was I was in a dream, and I just seen like I was like looking above and looking down on my body, looking at myself sleeping. I seen an evil spirit, just like a shadow nigga. He got his hand on my head, and I remember I got up, I woke up, and I woke up like literally swatting, like, man, what the fuck, get off my, like, get off me. You know what I'm saying? And in the same house, I believe it was like a short period of time. I had another one that was like fucking pressing me. It was like my legs was going into the bed, and I was calling upon the name of the Lord. But yeah, man, just make sure you on point, man, because these spirits know who you are. These spirits know if you truly believe or not. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be calling upon the name of the Lord all day, and if you ain't really believing, if you ain't really about this truth, that evil spirit can jump onto you. You know. But if not, if you truly do believe, if you're really about this truth, and and your name is spoken of in the heavens, because what the Lord said, He said, if you confess me before men, I will confess you before my Father and the angels. All right, so hey, you got the right hand angels and you got the left hand angels. That's what demons are. That's what evil spirits, devils. All right, unclean spirits. That's what those are. Those are angels. It's just left hand side. So if your name is being proclaimed in the heavens, they I know this man. You know, or the Lord. All right, I'm gonna call. Okay, the Lord sent me to come fuck with him, but I can't really do too much. Oh, he calling a name. Okay, I can't. Let me fall back. You know what I'm saying? So hey, Lord willing, the Lord be with us, man. So that's pretty much the point with that. I'm gonna give our praise and glory to Yahweh Shemi Al-Shah, Bashim Dash, the bounce of the Apostle Jim Ruach, on to the president of this work. I'm gonna say Shalom.